up? What's up? This Mr. DMV official. We're back with another banger. We're hanging out for the night owls. Came in a little bit early tonight. We're gonna wait for some people to come in. We're gonna talk about this Guthrie situation. Right on. We touched on it a couple nights ago when we was hanging out with the night owls. Want to say what's up to everybody coming in. Come on in. It's Mr. DMV, the official night owl hangout. We talk about topics. We're going to talk about the hot topic tonight, the topic with Nancy Guthrie. That's right, y'all. She's still missing. Go figure. And you know, the thing about this case is that it's getting stranger and stranger by the day, don't you think? I mean, they still can't find the mother. They had a third ransom note, and that ransom note was asking for bitcoins, amount of bitcoins, which is crazy to me. And the thing about it is that this note, ransom note, wasn't even left at the house where allegedly she was taken from. It was sent to a news or someone other than the news that Savannah work at, which is crazy. So before we get into it, we're gonna wait for some more people to come in. And y'all need to be watching this news closely, because these are things that are signs and symbols to something bigger to come. So that's why we here at Mr. DMV, that's why we here breaking it down. That's right, and we're gonna keep breaking it down. Gonna let some more people come in. We just got on this live, y'all. You know, how y'all feeling about what's going on the Guthrie situation? I mean, it's getting crazy, don't you think? Like to say, what's up, Thomas? The choo-choo train. Right on. You're one of my first guests of arrival. We're gonna get into this breaking news of the missing mother rather of Guthrie, after not only one ransom note, not only two, but a third ransom note has come in, and it wants some Bitcoin for ransom, which is crazy. And not only on top of that, they had just released an update about 3 people being detained. Okay, this story is getting very, very messy, mysterious, and I believe there's going to be some connection once the signs and symbols are showing a little bit more. What's up, everybody in the chat? I see you. Come on, this is the night owl. This is the night owl hangout. I'm your host, Mr. DMV. And for some of y'all, I know it's either late or early. But before we get into the story, go ahead and grab your snacks. I don't know if you're a cereal eater. You like to eat cereal this time of morning, or you're eating some leftovers or what have you. But we're going to get into this breaking news in a minute. Soon we get some more people in the chat. I see the people, they coming in. Said Gloria, LeMaster, H4C. Thanks for checking in. We're going to be talking about this missing lady. Everybody knows who she is now. Nancy, which is the mother of Savannah, one of the biggest news anchors in the world. And actually, if you've been watching all the updates and the craziness that's going on, you would notice a lot of symbols and signs, which could be leading up to something bigger and deeper. We're going to wait another minute or two before we get into this. I'm going to play something that was just breaking on the news here in a minute. And as we weigh in on what we seeing and what we believe in, and that's what we do here, the Mr. DMV official, we revive the truth. We make sure that we keep your first eye open. I know most people say that they're awakening and they want their third eye to awake, but nowadays you have to see with your first eye. You have to make sure it is what it is, because it affects you in the long run, because around the corner, there's something brewing and it could affect all of us. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and get into this here. We're going to get into it. So go ahead and get your cereal, your leftovers. Make sure you have something to drink. Hopefully you're drinking some fresh water or some fresh juice or what have you. Stay healthy and clear-minded. We're going to go ahead and play this clip. This is a breaking news from 3 detained people that they found possibly linked to the shenanigans of this missing Nancy. Let's get into it.
Monica Garcia right now and find out if she's gotten any more details. Monica, can you hear me?
All right, thank you guys. Sorry you lost my shot. I'm telling you, it's raining out here. There's a lot of media outlets out here, so just bear with us. So as I was saying, there's a big police activity, law enforcement activity happening in the neighborhood behind me. This is the Shadow Hills neighborhood, the suburb area of Tucson. I mean, there are houses after houses here right next to each other, and this is where I'm told about 2 hours ago, SWAT from Pima County Sheriff's deputies came out along with FBI, and they fixated on a house out here. They're not telling us exactly what happened, but we can tell you we've had different vantage points, especially where you just saw Jacob, and we're learning that possibly a man and a woman were detained tonight. And that's all we know. We've asked for confirmation, but sources are telling us a man and a woman were detained in a home out here tonight. We do have the average address of the home. We have looked it up. It appears to be a VRBO, possibly an Airbnb online, and that's all we know as far as who this house belongs to. But that's what's happening out here. And again, we did see a heavily armored SWAT vehicle pull out of this neighborhood. They've been turning neighbors away for 2 hours, and just as we came to the top of the 10 right now, they're now allowing neighbors who have been patiently waiting on the side of the road right here. I mean, car after car. Imagine coming home from work or coming home from dinner and being told that you can't enter your neighborhood because the cones are blocked off and not knowing exactly what's happening. I did speak to a neighbor who's actually in that area who was terrified. They said they were sheltering in place essentially because they had no clue what was happening. There was no warning of this big law enforcement presence. There was no warning that their neighborhood was going to be blocked off. So you can imagine how possibly scary that moment was for them. But at this point, we can confirm this is related to the Nancy Guthrie disappearance. So at least we have that much information that it's important. That's why we're all out here and we're waiting for an update from the Pima County Sheriff's Department. Sean, back to you.
All right, and we want to go over this really quickly. This is all happening in the Shadow Hills neighborhood that is located near Orange Grove and First Avenue. Placita de Graciela and Camino de Michael are shut down right now, and a heavy SWAT presence there. Nothing has been confirmed at this point. We do know that sources are saying that possibly a man and a woman were removed from that scene, but that has not come from PCSD. They said that they were going to have a press briefing, but that has since been canceled, and we are expecting a statement. So be sure.
Now, those who can hear it, the audio was messed up. I apologize. Appreciate you, Thomas, the choo choo train. You have a good one, my brother. But those who are still on the stream, we've been talking about the Guthrie situation, and we just got an update that 2 people have been detained. They said 3, but they said a man and a woman has been detained. Now they're finding notes, ransom notes. They're finding ring cam footage. They're traffic stopping people, and the SWAT is raiding around, but they still cannot find Nancy Guthrie, which is crazy to me. I think this story is a shenanigan. I think this is the world stage at its best. And usually during the time they stage things, they have you looking one way and they're doing something on the opposite end. This could possibly be a big distraction, which I think it is, but it's also symbolic to these people, these evil people of this world. I'm not too concerned about the end of this game right here, but I'm pretty sure that they're setting up probably something that's going on with Iran and a lot of other things going on over in the Caribbean islands also. But you tell me what you think. You guys believe in this story? You guys are concerned? Does it get to your emotions? Does it distract you? Does it get you to argue with family members on your opinions? I mean, because most of these things that come on the news are like frequencies, like charges that stick to your brain and get in your subconscious. And you might not be even talking about it until you hear someone else mention it. And then that gets you in the conversation, of course. But all of these things are division schemes and to create order out of chaos. Now, like I said, this lady is 84 years old. 8 and 4 is 11, which is a Masonic number for 1-1, which is a symbol for the polars, black and white, you know, like 1-1, like the Twin Towers. All of these things are, to me, propaganda. And when I look back on it, the story, I have to go through the information that I have questions about, such as, what are we stealing somebody's mother for? And if we stealing someone's mother, why are we dragging her out of a window, but yet there was blood droppings in front of the house? Okay. Then they found a glove in so-called bushes. But if you remember when Donald Trump, when the second assassinating attempt was on him at the golf course, the guy that was attempting that left a glove also in the bushes. These things correlate in so many fashions, but you just got to be meticulous on what you hear and what you see nowadays, because remind you that we are seeing the march and the bringing of the new world order, which I'm pretty sure that none of us are ready for. Thomas said I sound like Snoop Dogg. Okay, Thomas. Well, maybe because it's a little late, but we all sound like somebody, right? But we just don't sound like the evil people of this world because we are trying to seek peace while they're creating chaos. And when they run these stories on the news, you have to be meticulous. You have to use your discernment. You have to believe little of what you hear and none of what you see, really, because there's so many things that you can do with video nowadays. I mean, AI to me is like the tree of life. It has good and it has bad. And I believe that they use it for the bad, and we want to see the good in AI. But unfortunately, AI is being ran by the government, the elite, the luminaries, or what have you, whatever you want to call it. But they didn't say much about these detainees. They just said that they had detained 3 people. One was a woman and one was a man. They didn't say that these people were attached to the ransom note. So I find it pretty crazy that they would even run this story about the detainees when they can't even link them to a ransom note, which TMZ had a copy of. And TMZ seems like they play a lot of roles in a lot of propaganda that's been going on. And all this propaganda has nothing to do with us. What they call us, the citizens or the public, all this stuff that we see going on today, we are not involved in. We just watching. We just listening. And the more we talk about these things and show them our attention, the more propaganda they create. And we would say that we believe it and we watch it. And what they do with it, they lead us right down the rabbit hole. You can turn on any news station and all their stories are construed. All their stories are different. They talk a lot, but they don't say nothing. They confuse you most of the time, not answering your questions that us smart people want answered, but only answering the dumb questions. Like, who comes on and say, oh yeah, we detained 3 people, 2 were 1 woman and 1 man, but we never get to see their face. But the first guy they went to look for, and SWAT team showed up at his house, they showed his face and gave him an interview. And then shortly after, a ransom note came. Now, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but the government has wasted all these resources. The FBI, the local police, helicopters, dogs, DNA kits, tracking devices, infrared cameras, blood sampling kits, and they still haven't linked any of these findings all together. These are all separate findings, which are all irrelevant to figuring out what happened to Nancy Guthrie. And Nancy is in trouble from what they said because she needs medicine. They haven't told her if she's taking her medicine or what will be the cause of her death if she doesn't get the medicine. I saw the plea that Savannah and her brother and her sister, I believe, got news time on, pleading and letting whomever they thought they were talking to that they're willing to pay for the ransom. At the same time, the FBI is putting up reward money for anybody who can give them a lead to the kidnappers. And then a guy sends an email, not to the news station that Savannah works at, but another news station, and said he wants 100, what was it, $100,000 in Bitcoin. He wanted 50,000 in Bitcoin from the jump. And when that 50,000 cleared, he said he wanted the other 50,000 and he would let them know exactly where the kidnappers at. While we're all watching and listening to these news breaks and updates, don't you think that the kidnappers are also watching TMZ when Harvey is interfering with the FBI investigation by putting out these little things that he's collecting from whomever he gets them from? I mean, if I was the FBI, I would silence everyone in order to creep up on the kidnappers. But no, the kidnappers didn't play this ransom thing like a kidnapper because they got the news and the FBI involved. So now, since the FBI involved, the FBI is going to be looking for the kidnappers, and the kidnappers, well, they're going to have to be on the run now, right? Because they're not going to get the ransom if they're caught first. And if the kidnappers don't get the ransom because they're caught by the FBI, then of course they're going to keep running. And then that means that they're going to be dragging around an 84-year-old lady. Just think about that for a second. You send a ransom letter that TMZ get a copy of saying that you want the reward money to let the police and the FBI know where the kidnappers are because you said you know exactly where they are, which sounds like some bullshit to me. And now the kidnappers are probably watching TMZ. And now the kidnappers know that the FBI is on them because they sent a random ransom letter and TMZ broadcast it. And now the kidnappers know that the FBI or the guy who knows where they are, who wants the ransom, is going to oust where they are. So that means that they're going to be on the move, possibly even further from the location, dragging along an 84-year-old lady. Meanwhile, you have Savannah and her brother and her sister, I believe, reading a script. Did y'all notice that? Did y'all notice that her sister and her had notebook paper that they were reading from? You know, like she does when she's on the news doing her anchoring. And they were actually talking to the mother. Encouraging the mother that she's strong, and they're praying. So let's put this all together. Savannah and her siblings are reading scripts, talking to the mother. So does that mean that the mother is actually watching TV too? While they're not even addressing the possible kidnappers. Harvey on TMZ gets a copy of someone who claims they know where the kidnappers are, but they want the reward money that's offered by the FBI, I believe, in Bitcoin. Or else he's not going to say anything. But he doesn't become a potential suspect. Instead, the SWAT team goes running around trying to detain somebody who isn't even linked to the ransom notes 1 and 2, which gave the deadline, which was over February 10th. I mean, isn't this crazy? And the guy in the ring cam hasn't been found. So let's count how many suspects we got here. We got the guy in the ring cam in the backpack, I believe. And someone told me there was another guy that was seen on the cameras. We got a guy that they pulled over and detained him, right? They found a glove in the bushes, right? Sort of like the same glove that was left in the bushes that tried to assassinate Donald Trump at the golf course. Then we got a guy who writes a letter and is read by TMZ saying he wants the ransom money in Bitcoins or else. And then we got 2 or 3 people detained. So that's 1 on the ring cam. That's 2 who possibly left a glove in the bushes. 3, the guy that they did an interview with when the SWAT first showed up at his house, when they first thought they had a suspect, and he got an interview. 4, there's a guy who's writing and wanting a reward because he knows where the kidnappers are, so he should be a suspect. And then they detain 1, 2, possibly 3 other people. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, possibly 8 suspects. Like I said, this story is getting more mysterious, more crazy. And can you believe that they're wasting all of these resources just to put toxicity and confusion in your brain while you trying to figure out the story? They're making the story more confusing because it ain't real. It's simple as that. You cannot explain things that is not real. I'm sorry. When something is true, there's no explanation. But when something is not real, it can't be explained by even the person who's telling you. They have potential one suspect at the ring cam, one suspect who possibly left a glove, another suspect, they went to his house the first at the beginning of this and thought he was the one in the camera. Then you got a suspect who claims they know where the kidnappers are, who wants 100,000 in Bitcoin. And that was read on TMZ. And the latest update, possibly 1, 2, 3 more people they possibly picked up. That's about 7 or 8 potential leads, and all 7 or 8 of them are different. But yet, they still haven't found Nancy Guthrie. It gets more bizarre as the days go on, but be meticulous and pay attention because it's all symbolic to something that they're brewing up against the people. I appreciate those who join me in this live. We're going to follow this story and we're going to bring you more. This Mr. DMV official with the Night Owls. Get some rest, as I will also. Don't let these things scramble your brain, and don't put them on your mind. Stay healthy and blessed. Until next time, this Mr. DMV. Peace.